Hey guys, and welcome back to day 20 of Apollyon single/server player series. I'm joined today with just WizPopper. He's not in Mumble, so it's going to be a pretty quiet day. So, since last episode, I did a lot of reconfiguring of this. I actually got the jungle wood to work in here, and it actually, this 9 or 5x5, so 25 plots of jungle wood actually do more output than this entire Steve's Carts farm. And it overtook it in no time at all. And I actually had a whole bunch of excess trees. So you can see all the saplings. I even created this deep storage unit, which is Mine Factory Reloaded. I'll show you how to make this a little bit later. But it has 138,504 wood in it right now. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. And unfortunately, I'm running out of space, so I'm going to have to make another one for the saplings as well. I would also like to start making biofuel, or whatever it is. And I also found out that, so there's a server command on built into this, and it will tell you where the majority of your lag is. Direwolf20 does a really good mod spotlight on this, so I suggest watching that. But I just want to show you what is causing a lot of my lag. So to see it, you just go to your overlay, and you see this is chunks, and the redder they are, the more entities there are, I think. And then this is, oh, I just zoomed in on it, sorry. So you scroll on here, this shows you slime chunks. It'll grid it out for you. Loaded chunks, the blue is just I have a chunk loader loading this area. The green is because I'm a player. You can see in the other dimension, I have a chunk loader loading this area. You can actually see this is also loading this chunk, or these chunks, so it must be going in here and getting the lava. It's gotten a huge amount of lava, but anyhow, so, and you can see in this one there are no chunks loaded. So, okay, coming back here, you can see this is where WizPopper is. I haven't actually been over to his base yet, but you can tell he's right there. So now you also have, this is the mean time. This is how much, here, let me shut off. The darker red they are, it means the more latency there is in that specific chunk. So this one has a lot of latency right now. And to see them, I think you middle mouse click, and it'll show you what's actually causing the majority of the lag. And if you look and see, it's the rolling machine that's causing a tremendous amount of lag in that. Well, it's 21 milliseconds, but 21 is actually a pretty high number of milliseconds. It's actually doing work now. And as a server admin, you can actually teleport to the chunk that's doing it, and it'll light the item in red and show you it. But right now, I'm making a whole bunch of. See what's happening is because I'm not supplying it Minecraft jewels. I think it's having a hard time like figuring out what to do, so it's constantly giving it power. So there's that, and that's just a good way to kind of keep track of what is like going on in your chunks. So in this chunk, it's still the rolling machine, and then a transfer node is causing a lot of latency, and then some portal mods, and then tanks. Unfortunately, these tanks that are caught, these tanks actually cause a lot of problems. So if one tank is there, there's a whole bunch of it, and that's what I was using for a majority of the stuff. So I decided that I was going to create a liquids room, and I'm going to use the tanks from Railcraft, I guess, to do this. I think that it's just these. Nope. So you have a steel tank wall, or steel tank valve, a steel tank gauge, and here you go. There you go. So it's just 4 steel tanks, gives you 8. Oh, that's better than I thought. I thought it only gave you 4. But I want to do it over here. What do you guys think? So I figured out that I'm probably going to need about 10. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 of them. And they can be anywhere from 3x3, 4x4, all the way up to 9x9. These are just 5x5, but I don't think I'm going to... And you can have them up to 8 tall. I had a lot of issues with the way all these liquids were coming out. So I had to, like... Because this is all the sewage. Because what was happening was the sewage was actually... and here, I'll actually show you, because I'm sure that these ones have it. Because right now it's completely blocked. Fly! Okay, so this is the one that's in the main area. And... Oh, it's not. See, it's full of sewage right now because I don't really need... I'm not using it as... Actually, I filled up the fertilizer, so I'm not using it as fast as I'm creating it. But these also produce... they also produce liquid mob essence, and that's getting pulled out of the same exact one. So it's like... It's having a hard time getting one out. So that's what this has, a filter on it to only do the mob essence, and this one has a filter for sewage. So it'll fill this little tank with it, and then it'll go out and then fill the main tank out there. Well, I didn't really like the way that looked, and it actually isn't working very well because I can't store enough of this sewage in order to keep it going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff and probably just use the transfer nodes to transfer, because it can transfer liquid, and I'm going to use the transfer node on all 3 of these, and then it should just be able to transfer to whichever one it needs to. And I think that that's going to be a better approach to this system, because this is getting... It's causing a bunch of lag for one, and I had to shut it all off because it was just too much. I was getting too much stuff for what I needed to do. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get started working on the tanks for right now, because I need at least 3. So I need 1 for the sewage, 1 for the mob essence, and 1 for the liquid essence, liquid experience, or whatever this stuff is up here, because it's creating these 2. So XP juice, I don't know. It's just XP stuff. And I don't know if I said anything, but I also set up some autonomous actuators on these berries so that when we're not there, it's still collecting them. So now I have 6 stacks of 64. And I've used a bunch because I made my armor. I made some bronze armor because I was sick of taking so much damage, and I just went upstairs and enchanted it. It's not too bad. I could have had better, but bronze was pretty cheap, and I had a lot. For whatever reason, I have a lot of copper and I have a lot of tin. The things I don't have a lot of are the stuff that I use all the time. Like, I have very little iron. I have a ton of silver for whatever reason. I think it must be how I'm doing it downstairs. But anyhow, I'm going to let all this stuff cook up, and then I'm going to start getting... Well, I might as well just start. So I need tank walls. So I'm going to build 3 of them for right now. So I'm just going to make a bunch of these because they're pretty cheap. They're the same cost, steel cost, but then they just use the glass panes, and I have a bunch of those. So I'm going to have the first 3, and then I also need to make one of these, which are lever, and then some of those. So I'm going to need 2 of these per... So I'm just going to need to make 1 of those, because I'm going to need 2 per... sorry. I need 2 of those per tank. And I should have some of those over here, so I needed 4 of those and a lever. I think I have a lever in here. Alright, so... this is all still set up from the Minecraft Mine Factory Reloaded. Alright, so I'll do this. And then I need these. And then what was in the center of this? Was another pane? It sure was. Okay, so I'll just make... Let me grab a bunch of those, because I'm going to need a bunch. So I'm going to make a bunch. Steel has been cooking for days at this point. Alright, so here, there's that. That should be good for now. I'm not going to need this, not going to need this. So, and I don't think I'm going to need all the valves, or I don't need to make extra valves, so I'm just going to make one set of them. I think I have more steel in here. I guess it's just cooking up. That's done. Alright, so this should be good to get started. Okay, so the way I'm gonna set it up is I'm gonna put the input into the bottom, and then, or no, the output into the bottom and the input in the top. So I'm gonna put a valve here. No, actually, it's gonna be here. And then I'm gonna fill this in like this. I'm actually not going to make it as tall for right now because I don't think I have enough stuff. So I'm going to make them, I guess 3 high for now. I'm nervous that breaking them is going to cause problems, so I don't know if maybe I just want to... Because I thought I only made 4 per item, and if I can make 20, or if I can make 8 of them, it seems like I have more, so... But I don't think I'm ever going to need that much liquid. I don't know. I'll just make this one this high for now. I'm thinking I'm going to put sewage over here. So let me get this. Okay, so I guess I'll just let you see. It shouldn't take that much longer. Okay, so now I need another valve in the top, and then this should create one once I get all of these glass windows in here. It will hopefully create the rather large there it goes. So it can hold 4 million millibuckets, which is 4,000 buckets, which isn't a huge amount, but I think that it's going to be decent for what we're doing right now, because these ones only hold 16 buckets, so 4,000 buckets is a lot. Okay, so let me set all of these up, or at least the ones I'm going to use for now, up, and I will be right back. Alright, I set up everything that I could. I was going to use this transfer nodes, but I realized that I don't actually have any ender pearls. So for right now, I'm just going to hook them up this same way and then run the fluid duct into one of these. So I think I'm going to make this one the sewage, just because I don't want to see it really all that much, and I shouldn't really have to interact with it much, so I'm going to leave it in the farthest away. So let me go grab some fluid duct. I keep trying to run, but it's just not happening. I don't really know why. But, so I can get, hopefully I can get this to work in a way that, because I should have a ton of fluiduct still. I'm actually going to grab a bunch of, maybe I'll just make a bunch of them. The problem I feel like I'm going to have is I'm going to want to run these next to each other, and without being able to separate them, I'm not going to be able to run it the way I would like to anyway. Okay, so this one is going to go into, right, I need to fly. So this I'm going to run into here. So input, I'm going to run it. So this is the jungle wood. So I really don't need to go that way anymore, but I'm going to, oops. I'm going to move this around a little bit just so that it's out of my way. It's like, how did I not have enough? Okay, so these ones I'm going to run along the top. This way. So they come, it's going to come out right here, so I kind of want to keep it parallel with this, so I'm going to go to here and then up. I'm actually going to connect it to this one for now because I want it to drain all of the stuff that's in there out. Okay, so now this should be filling with sewage. That's perfect. Now, what I want to have happen is I want this all to drain out of this one. It's really hard to. So I want this to drain. So I'm going to need a pneumatic servo. So let me go do that and I will be right back. Alright, so I installed the servo and it's draining this. Because I got so much backstock, I'm not going to leave this guy up here. I think I'm just going to create these down in the basement because I don't really need to see this machine, and I think I'm just going to create all these down in the basement and let it run like that. I also need to create the thing that's going to deal with all of my saplings when I reach an excess amount. So that is going to be the mine factory loaded. I think it's the, I need to deal with my sludge, but I'm not 100% sure I even need to bother with that. It just creates more stuff and I don't really care. It's the biofuel generator that I want to create. You can do two things. You can use the biofuel generator to actually generate, like use it in this bioreactor, or you can use one of the other items from here, the unifier, I think, and you could take and put a liquid in there and it'll automatically output to a different liquid. So I think I might convert this to the other type of you get, well, I'm going to probably convert it to the other type. So the other type of biofuel so that I can use it for a boiler. I think it's railcraft. So I'm going to do the same thing with this liquid essence tank, and then another thing with this this other one too. So let me do all that stuff, and I will be right back. For whatever reason, these tanks break a lot easier with a shovel. So if you're trying to, instead of sitting there like digging at them or mining on them for a long time, you can just use a shovel and they'll come right up. I'm also, so I've gotten everything down there except for this liquid essence, or not liquid, whatever this stuff is. So I think I'm gonna run it, because this is the tube that's going down there. So I'm just gonna run this straight down. So it's gonna go down this way, down here, and then down here. So I'm going to take these off of here. Alright, so there's that. Now I'm going to pick all of these up, I guess. And make just one big one down there to empty it into it, because there's a lot of problems. Well, because of how I made it, it doesn't really work all that well. So I'm actually going to do that to this one too, because this one doesn't work very well where it is, because it can only grab the top one. So I might, no, I'm just going to grab that and I'll replace that later. So I still have a servo. I think that I'm going to, this is all going to be, all of these liquid ducts are going to be replaced with the other ones. I tried it in a single player world and it works fine. These transfer pipes, I'm just going to use these transfer pipes to transfer liquid into all of these. So it's just going to be one that goes across most of these. And I hooked up the lava to it as well, so that I'm getting lava. I still have to, I really don't need lava as much anymore. I'm using it, but I think I don't need it. So I'm going to let this stuff drain out and then get rid of them when I need to. But this actually powers this, or actually this supplies more power than this actually needs. So these were just going to be for backup, and these I don't need, because I only really need to use these ones, the steam ones. So, and right now I have enough steam being generated, so I think I'm good with that. So let me figure out where I want to put. I think I'm going to put this mob essence in here. So I want to come straight up from this one, and that was coming down right here. So I will get back up here, and I'll shovel these out, and then come, oops, I missed. So it's this one. I'm actually, yeah, that's fine. So, where did it go? All right, come down here. Over. So this is going to go up. So that's how I'm going to do that. Okay, so now that is going to pull, maybe I'll just go straight down, because that doesn't, I mean, it looks, I Guess I don't. I could do it from right here. I think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to go straight down. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because of the tree. Because that tree is gonna, the trees are going to be a problem. Alright, this is fine. So, I have a servo. Now I'm going to hook up I guess I'm just going to do it here. Now, servo. Alright, so it's automatically going to empty it. Alright, so that's going to empty into here, and it's going to be a nice tank full of some essence, some fluid XP juice, as it were. Alrighty, so I think that this is working. The next thing I need to work on is I think I'm going to build an Enderman spawner. But in order to do that, I need to kill some Endermen. It's very cyclical. So you need a safari. So these safari nets capture any entity, and then you can use the mine factory spawner, wherever this thing went. So there's a mine factory auto spawner, and what the auto spawner does is it will auto spawn any of the safari nets that you put in there with the use of some of this mob essence. So I need to do this for a few things. I need to reliably get a tank, or I really need to reliably fill this tank with mob essence. And in order to do that, I can just run my farm forever, and that'll work in some ways. But there is a trick to getting this exponentially. And that trick is if you capture in a safari net a slime. And the reason, a large slime specifically, it'll cost a little bit more to produce them, but what happens is you get experience for killing a slime. Wow, normally this is just full of slimes, but normally you get it because he splits into 4, so you get experience 4 times for a large slime, and then he'll split again into 4, and then again into 4. So you'll get experience, you'll get whatever experience, so 4 times 8, or 4 times 16 times the experience for one mob spawn, so you'll actually get more mob essence out of each large slime spawn. So I'm gonna spend some time between today and tomorrow farming a bunch of these Endermen, and hopefully I can get enough, or at least 4 Ender Pearls, and I can make one of those safari nets and capture them, and then start using these to spawn more, and then eventually get everything I need easier. So yeah, that's what I have to look forward to. Anyhow, this is Apollyon saying, see you tomorrow.